We're looking towards the last month of 2021, and it's time for a look at the year in retrospect. So for today's video, we're going to be looking at the top anime fights this year. As always, 2021 came with an assortment of fights that wowed us and dazzled us all, either through hype or just insane animation and editing techniques. I'll be counting down on what I think are the 10 best anime fights for 2021 so far. I've made several videos on this throughout the year, so let's see who's making the cut now. Dai vs. Baran is what I'd call an underrated gem, kind of like the show where it came from. It truly harkens back to the days of old with shonen battles and all those battle auras and a lot of shouting. It does give the whole 90s feel with a lot of polish made for the modern era, and I enjoyed the fight because it really unlocks some memories of my childhood, much like the modern Dragon Ball anime too. The pacing of the battle's great, and the voice acting really puts this one over the hump. Not a lot of people I know have been watching the Dragon Quest anime, but I think it's a worthwhile journey with a lot of fights like this. Will the Dragon Quest anime be something that fits the bill for a good shonen watch? Well, try it out and see if you like it. At least now you know that somewhere in there is a banger of a fight. Next, we have Toru vs. Elma on the list. Seriously, did anyone expect this? Out of Dragon Maid of all things. KyoAni is not exactly the studio well known for hype-inducing fights filled with intensity and special effects. Dragon Maid's an anime that's a comedic slice of life that's more known for both its wholesomeness and fan-servicey elements. Then we get one of the most unexpected yet insane fights I've seen this year. I mean, really, just look at this battle. It's got some animation techniques and effects that will put a lot of modern anime fights to shame. I also loved how the two of them went to each other with such intensity. You'd expect something like this out of some well-produced action shows and not a slice of life where the dragons spend most of the time being adorable. Just a fair warning that as cute as these dragons look, they're all virtually weapons of mass destruction. A clash between two of them wouldn't be pretty, and this fight is proof of that. We proceed with Asta and Yami vs. Dante. It's such a joy watching Black Clover's journey. In a way, it kind of reflects a shonen protagonist's growth, doesn't it? Starting off the black sheep of the bunch, but slowly and surely earning our love and admiration for the plot that became more and more engaging. Oh, and of course there's the fighting as well. Lots of cool fights, and in this final arc of the anime, we have this banger. I've always loved Yami as a character, and he just oozes coolness with whatever he does, and this fight definitely showcases that. But even the most badass mentor has that plucky hero to guide. With how Yami carried the first part of the fight before Asta comes in with the finish, it just shows that great mentor-student relationship that I've come to enjoy in these shonen shows. The two have a cool dynamic, and I loved seeing it all the way to the last arc. If you've put off watching Black Clover, then maybe this would be a fight to get you back into it. It's definitely worth the journey. Camilla vs. Isaac makes its way to the list. I've talked lots of good stuff about Castlevania, and even though looking at what we've already had this year, this fight does still hold up. In the bigger picture of things, this is one of the better fight choreographies in the battles that I've featured so far. It may not be too high budget or as fluid as some of the big titans of the anime battles go, but the pacing is on point. Back in my previous video that featured this encounter, I said that I placed it high because of its rolling showing off character development. I still stand by that now, and I'd say that a good fight should also exhibit character. There are some haphazardly written fights, but you can really feel the personality and the development shine with how the combatants battled in this one. It's understandable that people sleep on Castlevania, but it's a pretty good anime. Well, the latter is in a technical sense. Oh boy, one of my favourite fights to talk about. I think that when the dust settled, 2021 will have Vivy as one of my main landmarks in the world of anime. Sure, it's not going to be the most talked about show, nor would it likely be the first thing that people think of when you say 2021 several years down the line. Still, among new anime that started airing this year, anime watchers would likely look back with nostalgic eyes towards this sci-fi hit. For me, the main attraction of the series isn't even in the fighting, which makes this fight even more amazing if you look at the context. Vivy's a show that doesn't primarily sell itself on fights, but for the animators to go all out and give us this amazing encounter is really something. There's a lot of combat insanity in Vivy, but this one just takes the cake. This is the one that got me very, very hyped and chock full of adrenaline when watching. The best part about including this entry? We'll have more insanity like this after the break. if you've been enjoying this video so far, perhaps those like and subscribe buttons up there are just looking a little bit more attractive, right? Yeah, I'm encouraging you to subscribe and hit the bell button so that you can get notifications whenever I upload a new video. Thanks for listening to this short intermission. Now let's get back to the show.
いつまで寝ている?
At the time of this writing, Takt Op Destiny still has quite a long run to go, so why don't we look at the first episode fight? After all, first impressions are ever so important, aren't they? Entering a season, I know that many people didn't have high expectations from Takt Op Destiny. It's part of a game promotion first. Secondly, people have brushed it off as waifu bait since that's pretty much the name of the game now with mobile games, waifu gacha collecting. But this fight really blew me away, honestly. Then again, what else did I expect? It's Madhouse and Mappa, and if they want to sell a video game, they better do a damn good job with the anime adaptation. And a good job they did with this astounding display of effects, goosebump-inducing transformation sequences, and display of fireworks and sheer destruction. First impressions are very important, and let's just say that Takt Op Destiny impressed me so much in the first episode for me to have this fight as one of the best in 2021. Following that is Naruto vs Ishiki. The Baryon Mode fight, as I like to call it. It's a fight that got all the Naruto fans involved back into the thick of things and quite a bittersweet swan song. Perfect combination for a fight which serves as Naruto's final blaze of glory. The whole fight kept me on the edge of my seat due to how impactful each attack seemed. The production for this scene is top notch, as it should be for such an important moment. Ishiki has more than proven himself in battle before, so seeing Naruto start to get the advantage on him was such a cathartic moment. Like a lot of modes in anime, Baryon Mode does have a drastic drawback, and it set the stage for what I feel like is one of the most emotional scenes in Boruto. Yes, one of the most emotional moments in Boruto involves Naruto and Kurama. It's an emotional farewell for Kurama that follows an eye-popping display of shonen powers. No wonder many people have been so excited to see this fight animated. Gintama, the final, capped off a long whirlwind of a ride, putting a fitting end to one of the best shonen franchises there is for me. It's especially hard on an emotional level. It's a whole culmination of a long journey, and Utsuro serves as the perfect final antagonist. Overall, this fight had a lot of impact on me. I won't outright put it up as one of those fights that will change how you see anime forever or anything outrageous like that, but it's a damn good fight that will live on in history as a solid finale to Gintama. I'd say that Mappa really put themselves on the map these past few years, didn't they? First taking over the production of Attack on Titan, then being the ones behind Jujutsu Kaisen's awesome battle scenes. Jujutsu Kaisen has a lot of noteworthy battles, but this one by far is my favorite. Team fights are good if you can see the chemistry and the synergy between the fighters, and with how Yuji and Todo fought together, you can really see their dynamic in full display. It's a mentor-disciple type battle, not too unlike the Yami and Asta one a while ago, but with the full benefit of Mappa's breathtaking animation. And while Gojo didn't participate much until the closing moments, that Halo Purple was still super amazing. Truly wowed the whole fan base then, and it is something for us to remember. No one's sleeping on Jujutsu Kaisen anytime soon, and it's easy to see why. Did I cheat on this one? Well, it got recapped anyway in the 2021 Demon Slayer anime, so we're gonna count it anyway. I mean, it's just the most hyped fight in the mainstream, coming into as far back as 2020 when Demon Slayer's movie got announced, and when it finally did hit theaters, it proved that the hype was worth it. That's pretty much a staple with Ufotable fights. I mean, unlimited budget works and all due to, reasons. Whichever method you choose to enjoy the fight though, you'll just be amazed by how Rengoku and Akaza's techniques are put on display. I expect a lot out of the person with the title title of Fire Pillar, and you do have to see him fight to truly experience what his powers are like. What makes this fight a winner is the emotional weight it carried. I know you guys would have probably gotten tired of people flooding the airwaves while hyping up Demon Slayer fights and UFO table animation, but when you look at it, this fight's more than just flashy effects and animation. The emotional aspect of this fight is also an extremely underappreciated part of it, and I think that this makes this one even better than the famed Rui fight. So, in addition to showing you some of the most amazing masterpieces the anime world has given us this year, I hope that I've introduced you to some anime that you were on the fence with picking up. There's a lot of spectacular fights to be enjoyed, and some of them might have even been in shows that you haven't even bothered with. Before I close, I'd like to encourage you to check out my other social media. I have a Patreon, and you can also try channel memberships. Also, follow my Instagram if you prefer to be notified of the latest news about my channel there, as well as enjoy some anime tidbits. That's going to be it for today. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you again. Stay strong and stay awesome.